No one saw this coming. Just when fans thought Charlie Kirk's world could not get messier, a new storm erupted that pulled his parents straight into the spotlight and turned a private breakup into a public spectacle. What started as quiet whispers behind closed doors has now exploded into a full-blown family showdown, and emotions are running high on all sides. According to sources close to the family, Charlie's parents are furious, and this time, their anger is not aimed at Charlie himself. It is directed squarely at Erika. The woman who once stood beside Charlie, defended him, and shared his life, is now being accused of something that has left the family feeling betrayed and humiliated. Replacing Charlie was one thing, but doing it so fast, and so publicly, is what reportedly pushed his parents over the edge. Fans are shocked by how quickly everything unraveled. One moment, Erika was being described as heartbroken and keeping a low profile. The next, she was spotted smiling, holding hands, and stepping into the spotlight with a mystery man no one had seen before. The photos spread fast. The comments spread faster. And before anyone could control the narrative, Charlie's parents were said to be making phone calls, sending messages, and demanding answers. Behind the scenes, voices were raised, old wounds were reopened, and accusations flew. Was this new relationship already brewing while Erika was still with Charlie, or is this her way of moving on and protecting herself? Sources claim the family felt blindsided, while Erika insists she owes no one an explanation. As fans take sides and social media fills with heated opinions, one question hangs heavy in the air. Who is this new boyfriend, and why has his sudden appearance caused such a deep rift that the family was left divided? Stay right here, because what happened next only made this drama darker, louder, and impossible to ignore. The tension did not explode in public right away. It started quietly, behind closed doors, in hushed conversations that carried more weight than shouting ever could. Charlie was the first to hear the whispers when his phone began lighting up, with messages from friends asking the same uncomfortable question: "Have you seen the photos?" At first he ignored them, convincing himself it was another rumor that would fade by morning. But when the images finally landed in his inbox, there was no denying what everyone else had already seen. Erika, smiling, in a way fans had not seen in months, walking beside a man no one recognized, her hand resting easily on his arm as if it belonged there. Sources say Charlie sat in silence for a long time, staring at the screen, replaying memories that suddenly felt distant and fragile. He was not angry at first. He was stunned. The speed of it all left him unsettled, as if the ground had shifted before he could steady himself. Friends close to him claim he muttered that it felt unreal, like watching someone else's life unfold through a window he could not open. But while Charlie stayed quiet, his parents did not. Charlie's mother was reportedly the first to speak up, and when she did, emotions ran high. She had defended Erika fiercely in the past, even when fans questioned her intentions. Now she felt blindsided. According to insiders, she kept repeating the same line during a tense phone call, saying how could she replace him so easily after everything. His father, usually more reserved, was said to be even angrier. He viewed the situation as disrespectful, not just to Charlie, but to the entire family. To him, this was not about moving on. It was about timing, image, and what he believed was a deliberate message being sent. Within hours, family group chats turned cold. Words were typed, deleted, then typed again with less patience. Accusations surfaced, some whispered, some blunt. Was this man already in Erika's life before the breakup? Had Charlie been kept in the dark while everyone else knew? Fans are shocked by how quickly the tone shifted from concern to confrontation, and sources claim the family felt pushed into reacting after the photos went viral. Erika, on the other hand, was not prepared to stay silent. Those close to her say she felt attacked and misunderstood. She believed she had paid her dues by staying quiet for weeks while rumors swirled around her name. When the backlash reached her, it hit hard. She reportedly told a friend that she was tired of being painted as the villain for choosing to move forward. In her mind, the relationship with Charlie had ended long before the world noticed. She felt she owed explanations to no one. Still, the pressure kept building. Fans flooded her social media with questions, some sympathetic, others openly hostile. Comments accused her of betrayal, of erasing Charlie, of rewriting history. The new boyfriend became a central figure in the storm despite remaining silent. Sources describe him as calm and composed, but aware that stepping into this moment meant becoming part of a much larger narrative. Every move he made was now being watched. Things reached a breaking point when Charlie's parents reportedly requested a private conversation with Erika. What was meant to be a chance to clear the air quickly turned into a heated exchange. Voices were raised. Old moments were dragged back into the present. Charlie's mother allegedly questioned Erika's sincerity from the very beginning, a comment that cut deeper than intended. Erika fired back, saying she had given more than anyone knew and received judgment instead of gratitude. Charlie himself was caught in the middle, torn between loyalty to his family and unresolved feelings for Erika. Sources say he tried to de-escalate the situation, urging everyone to step back, but the damage had already been done. The family was left divided, with lines drawn that no one expected to see. Friends began choosing sides. Some urged Charlie to speak out, while others advised him to protect his peace and stay quiet. As the night stretched on, the argument reportedly ended without resolution. No apologies were exchanged. No clarity was reached. Erika left feeling cornered, Charlie's parents left feeling dismissed, and Charlie left feeling like the ground beneath him was still shifting. Fans are shocked not only by the new relationship, but by how deeply it fractured what once looked like a united front. By morning, the story had grown even bigger. Blogs picked it up, reaction videos appeared. Speculation turned into certainty in the eyes of the internet, yet behind the noise, the people at the center of it all were left sitting with questions that had no easy answers. Was this truly about a new boyfriend, or was it about wounds that had never healed? And as part one of this drama unfolded, it became clear that the fallout was only just beginning, with emotions still raw and truths still untold. The silence that followed did not bring relief. It only made everything heavier. Charlie woke up the next day to a reality he did not recognize, one where his name was trending for reasons he could not control. Notifications stacked on top of each other, each one carrying another opinion, another accusation, another theory about Erika and the man now standing beside her. Fans are shocked by how fast the narrative turned, and Charlie felt trapped inside a story that kept rewriting itself without his consent. He finally broke his silence in private, not online, but in a late-night conversation with a close friend. Sources say his voice sounded tired, not angry. He admitted that what hurt most was not seeing Erika with someone else, but realizing how replaceable he felt. He questioned whether the years they spent together meant the same thing to her as they did to him. That doubt lingered, quietly eating away at him. Meanwhile, Erika was facing her own storm. Friends describe her as defensive but deeply shaken. She tried to maintain a calm exterior, posting normal content, smiling through appearances. But behind the scenes, emotions ran high. She reportedly told those close to her that she felt punished for surviving the breakup. In her mind, moving on was not an attack on Charlie or his family. It was a choice she made to protect herself from sinking further into sadness. The new boyfriend finally began to feel the weight of the attention. Sources claim he had not expected his presence to trigger such an intense reaction. He was not part of Charlie's past, yet he was being dragged into it. People questioned his intentions, his timing, even his character. Friends say he asked Erika if stepping back would make things easier for her. Her response was firm. She refused to hide again, just to make others comfortable. Charlie's parents, however, were not ready to let the matter rest. His father reportedly reached out to mutual connections, trying to piece together a timeline that made sense to him. Every unanswered question fueled his frustration. He felt the family's image had been damaged, and in his eyes, Erika's public appearance with a new partner confirmed his worst suspicions. He believed respect should have come before freedom. His mother struggled in a different way. Sources say she felt embarrassed, not only freedom. His mother struggled in a different way. Sources say she felt embarrassed, not only by the public fallout, but by the realization that she might have misjudged Erika all along. She replayed past conversations, moments where Erika had reassured her of loyalty and love. Now those memories felt hollow. She confided in a friend that it felt like losing someone twice, once through the breakup and again through what followed. As tensions escalated, Charlie attempted to set boundaries. He asked his parents to stop engaging with outside voices and let the situation cool down. That request did not go over well. Emotions were too raw, and the family was left divided on how to handle the fallout. Some relatives urged forgiveness and privacy. Others believed silence would only make them look weak. Fans continued to dissect every detail. Side-by-side comparisons flooded social media, analyzing body language, smiles, and captions. Some defended Erika fiercely, arguing that she had every right to move on. Others accused her of cruelty and poor timing. The debate became louder than the truth itself. Emotions ran high across the internet, and the people involved felt powerless to slow it down. Erika eventually confronted Charlie directly. According to insiders, the conversation was tense but honest. She told him she never intended to hurt him or his family, but she refused to apologize for living her life. Charlie listened, struggling to balance understanding with pain. He admitted he still felt blindsided, even if he accepted that their chapter had ended. The conversation ended without closure, leaving both of them emotionally exhausted. The family fallout deepened when Charlie's parents learned about a planned appearance Erika was set to make with her new boyfriend. To them, it felt like a deliberate provocation. His father reportedly said this was proof that Erika wanted attention at their expense. His mother worried about how Charlie would cope watching it unfold in real time. Their concerns turned into anger, and that anger found its way into more heated exchanges behind closed doors. By the end of the week, everyone involved was carrying a different version of the same story. Erika saw herself as a woman reclaiming her life. Charlie felt like a chapter had been closed too abruptly. His parents felt disrespected and discarded. Fans felt entitled to answers they were never promised. And as part 2 of this unfolding drama blurred into the next, one thing became clear. The emotional distance between everyone was growing wider, and whatever truth remained was getting harder to reach. The planned appearance changed everything. Once the date leaked, the tension that had been simmering finally boiled over. Charlie's parents were said to be livid, convinced that this was not coincidence but a calculated move. His father reportedly slammed his phone down after hearing the news, saying this was Erika making a statement without saying a word. His mother, shaken and emotional, worried less about public perception and more about what this would do to Charlie, who was already struggling to hold himself together. Charlie tried to act unaffected, but those close to him say the news hit harder than he expected. He told a friend that seeing Erika step out confidently with someone new felt like watching a door close while he was still standing in the doorway. The feeling of being left behind returned, heavier this time. Fans are shocked by how visibly withdrawn he became, skipping events and declining invitations, choosing isolation over explanations. Erika, meanwhile, felt cornered by the growing backlash. She believed every step she took was being misinterpreted. Friends say she went back and forth about canceling the appearance, torn between avoiding further conflict and refusing to shrink herself again. The new boyfriend encouraged her to do what felt right, but he also admitted the attention was overwhelming. He never imagined his presence would ignite such hostility from people he had never met. The night before the appearance, Erika reportedly received a long message from Charlie's mother. The tone was emotional, almost pleading at first, then sharply accusatory. She questioned Erika's choices, her timing, and her respect for the family. Erika read the message several times before responding. Her reply was calm but firm. She said she understood their pain but refused to carry responsibility for feelings she could not control. That response only deepened the divide. When the appearance finally happened, all eyes were on Erika. Cameras caught every glance, every smile, every moment she shared with her new partner. Fans dissected the footage frame by frame. Some claimed she looked happier than ever. Others insisted the happiness was forced. Emotions ran high as reactions poured in from every direction. The family was left divided even further, with no clear path back to common ground. Charlie watched the footage alone. Sources say he turned the screen off halfway through, unable to continue. He felt exposed, as if his private heartbreak had become entertainment. Later that night, he reportedly confronted his parents, asking them to stop escalating the situation. He told them the public fighting was hurting him more than Erika ever could. The conversation was tense, with raised voices and long silences. For the first time, Charlie pushed back, choosing his own emotional survival over family expectations. This shift caught his parents off guard. They had believed they were protecting him, defending his honor. Now they were being asked to step aside. His father struggled to accept it, feeling shut out of a situation he felt personally invested in. His mother, though still hurt, began to soften when she saw the toll it was taking on her son. She admitted to a close friend that she may have let her anger speak louder than her empathy. Erika sensed the shift as well. She noticed the tone of online reactions slowly changing, with some fans urging everyone to move on. Still, the damage had been done. Friendships connected to Charlie's circle quietly faded. Invitations stopped coming. The social world they once shared fractured into separate spaces. Erika leaned more heavily on her new partner, finding comfort in his steady presence, even as critics accused her of replacing one dependency with another. Rumors continued to swirl about the true timeline of her new relationship. Anonymous sources claimed overlap. Others denied it completely. The lack of clear answers kept the story alive. Erika refused to address the rumors directly, believing any statement would only fuel more speculation. Charlie also stayed silent publicly, though privately he wrestled with doubts that refused to fade. One late evening, Charlie received a message from Erika that surprised him. It was not an apology or an explanation. It was a simple acknowledgement of shared history. She thanked him for the years they spent together and expressed hope that, one day, the pain would settle into something quieter. Charlie stared at the message for a long time before replying. His response was brief but honest. He said he hoped the same, even if he was not there yet. That exchange marked a turning point, not a resolution, but a pause. The chaos slowed, though the distance remained. Charlie's parents noticed the change and reluctantly stepped back, realizing the fight had grown bigger than any of them. Fans, still invested, continued to debate, but the intensity began to fade. Yet beneath the surface, unresolved feelings lingered. Trust had been shaken, relationships had been tested, and while the noise around the drama softened, the emotional consequences stayed real. As part 3 of this saga bled quietly into what came next, it became clear that the final chapter had not yet been written, and the choices ahead would define who walked away healed and who remained stuck in the echoes of what was lost. Time did not heal things the way everyone expected. Instead, it created space for reflection. And that space brought new realizations that were just as painful as the initial shock. Charlie began to see how deeply the situation had reshaped his relationships, not only with Erika, but with his own family. Conversations with his parents felt cautious now, as if everyone was afraid of saying the wrong thing and reopening wounds that never fully closed. His father tried to regain control in quieter ways, offering advice that sounded more like instructions. Charlie listened but no longer absorbed it the same way. He had reached a point where protecting his own peace mattered more than proving loyalty. This subtle shift worried his parents. They sensed him pulling away, emotionally independent in a way he had never been before. The irony was impossible to ignore. In trying to defend him, they had pushed him toward distance. Erika noticed the change from afar. Mutual friends mentioned that Charlie seemed different, more guarded, less reactive. It stirred something complicated in her. Guilt mixed with relief. She did not regret moving on, but she regretted the damage left behind. She admitted to a close friend that she never wanted to be the reason a family turned against itself. At the same time, she felt stronger than she had in months, standing firm in choices she once would have second-guessed. The new boyfriend became more visible, not by choice, but by necessity. Fans demanded to know who he was, where he came from, and why he appeared so confident stepping into chaos. Sources describe him as someone who valued privacy. Now forced to navigate attention he never sought. Still, he remained steady. He supported Erika quietly, reminding her that public noise fades faster than private truth. His presence irritated critics even more, fueling claims that he was enjoying the spotlight. Charlie's parents viewed him as a symbol of loss. To them, he represented how easily Erika moved forward while their son struggled. They questioned his motives, his character, and his role in Erika's decisions. The tension resurfaced when his mother unexpectedly ran into Erika at a private gathering. What followed was not explosive, but it was heavy. The air between them felt thick with unspoken words. Sources say the conversation was brief but intense. Charlie's mother expressed disappointment, not anger, which somehow hurt more. She told Erika she never imagined things ending this way. Erika listened quietly, then responded with honesty that caught her off guard. She said endings are rarely neat, and sometimes love does not fail loudly. It fades. That moment did not repair anything, but it softened the edges of resentment, if only slightly. Charlie learned about the encounter later and felt conflicted. Part of him was relieved they spoke without shouting. Another part felt exposed, as if his pain had been discussed without him present. He realized then that closure might never come in the way he hoped. Instead, it would arrive in fragments, scattered across moments he could not control. Fans continued to debate, though the tone shifted again. Some admitted the situation was more complex than betrayal headlines suggested. Others doubled down, refusing to let go of a villain narrative. Emotions ran high in comment sections, but the people involved had grown weary of defending themselves against strangers. Eventually, Charlie made a decision that surprised many. He chose to step back publicly, declining interviews and avoiding any indirect references to Erika. Friends say it was the first choice that felt entirely his. His parents struggled with it at first, but they saw the calm it brought him. Slowly, reluctantly, they followed his lead. Erika also adjusted her approach. She limited what she shared, protecting her relationship from unnecessary exposure. The new boyfriend remained by her side, though less visible. Together, they tried to build something quiet, away from speculation. It was not easy. The past still hovered, but it no longer dictated every move. In the end, no clear winner emerged. No dramatic apology fixed everything. No statement erased the hurt. The family was left divided in subtle ways, reshaped rather than destroyed. Charlie carried forward with a deeper understanding of himself. Erika moved ahead with guarded hope, and fans were left with unanswered questions that kept the story alive long after the noise faded. As the dust settled, one truth became unavoidable. This was never just about replacing someone or revealing a new boyfriend. It was about pride, timing, and the fragile line between private healing and public judgment. And while the world watched for one final twist, those at the center learned that some endings do not close cleanly. They simply fade into something quieter, leaving behind echoes that only time can truly soften. Even after the public attention cooled, the aftershocks continued in ways no one could predict. Charlie started hearing things indirectly. Small comments passed through friends of friends. Subtle hints that Erika's life was moving forward faster than anyone expected. It was not the relationship itself that unsettled him anymore, but the realization that the chapter he was still processing had already become a closed book for her. That knowledge sat heavy, not dramatic, just deeply personal. His parents noticed the change in him. The anger they once carried softened into concern. His mother began checking in more gently, asking how he was sleeping, whether he was eating properly. Questions that carried regret beneath their surface. His father remained quieter than usual, wrestling with his own sense of responsibility. Sources say he admitted privately that he may have crossed lines that never needed to be crossed. Still, saying that out loud felt harder than holding on to pride. Erika, meanwhile, felt the weight of being constantly misunderstood. Even as things settled, she sensed that many people still believed a version of her that did not match who she was. She confided in a close circle that being judged so loudly had changed her. She was more cautious, more selective, less willing to explain herself. The experience had taught her that public sympathy is temporary, but public judgment leaves marks that last. The new boyfriend began to see cracks too, not in Erika, but in the world surrounding them. He realized that stepping into a relationship tied to unresolved history meant accepting shadows that were not his own. Friends say he questioned whether love was enough to withstand that pressure. Yet every time he considered pulling away, he saw how much Erika relied on the stability he offered. That kept him grounded, even when the scrutiny felt unfair. Rumors flared up again when an old acquaintance hinted at a deeper truth about the breakup. Nothing was confirmed, but speculation reignited overnight. Fans are shocked by how quickly the narrative returned, louder than before. Some claimed there was more to the story, secrets still buried. Others accused the media of refusing to let two people move on in peace. The cycle repeated, proving how fragile closure really was. Charlie's parents felt that familiar frustration rising again. His mother worried that reopening old wounds would undo the progress Charlie had made. His father was tempted to speak out, to finally correct what he believed were lies. Charlie stopped him. In a calm but firm moment, he asked them to let it go. He said carrying the story forward would only keep them trapped inside it. That request marked a turning point in their dynamic, one built less on authority and more on mutual respect. Erika sensed the renewed noise and chose silence again. This time, it was not defensive. It was intentional. She focused on building routines that grounded her, spending time away from cameras, rediscovering parts of herself that had nothing to do with public opinion. The relationship she was in became more private, more real. That choice angered critics who wanted access, but it gave her something she had not felt in a long time: peace. Fans slowly grew divided in a new way. Some remained invested, hoping for reconciliation or a dramatic confession. Others grew tired of the cycle and began calling for empathy instead of judgment. Emotions ran high, but the tone softened, shifting from outrage to reflection. The story that once thrived on conflict now lingered as a cautionary tale. Charlie started focusing on his own future, setting goals unrelated to the past. Friends say he looked lighter, not healed completely, but no longer consumed by what could not be changed. He accepted that answers might never come, and that understanding does not always require explanation. His parents watched him reclaim himself and realized that sometimes support means stepping back, not stepping in. Erika reached a similar conclusion in her own way. She accepted that some people would never understand her choices, and that was okay. She had stopped trying to rewrite the narrative. Instead, she chose to live beyond it. The new boyfriend remained part of her life, not as a statement, but as a partner. Their bond, tested by outside pressure, grew quieter and stronger. In the end, the drama did not end with a final confrontation or a clear apology. It faded through exhaustion, acceptance, and time. The family was left divided in subtle ways, but not broken beyond repair. Charlie moved forward with lessons he never asked for. Erika moved on with resilience she did not know she had. And the audience, once hungry for chaos, was left with a story that no longer belonged to them. As this chapter stretched toward its quiet conclusion, one truth became clear to everyone involved. Not every conflict ends with clarity, and not every ending needs approval. Some stories simply lose their grip, slipping out of the spotlight, leaving behind people who are changed. Not by what they said publicly, but by what they learned in silence. The final shift came quietly, without headlines or leaks, and that was what made it feel so final. There was no single moment that signaled the end of the drama. Only a gradual realization that everyone involved was tired of carrying it. Charlie felt it first. One morning, he woke up and noticed that checking his phone no longer came with a knot in his chest. The noise had dulled. The story no longer owned his first thought of the day. He met his parents for dinner that week, and for the first time in months, Erika's name did not dominate the conversation. They spoke about ordinary things, future plans, small frustrations. When the past did surface, it did so gently. His mother admitted she missed the version of herself who trusted more easily. His father acknowledged that anger had given him a false sense of control. Neither of them apologized directly, but the change in tone said more than words could. Charlie listened, realizing they were all grieving different versions of the same loss. The family he thought he would have, the partner they thought would stay, the certainty they all believed was permanent. That understanding did not erase the pain, but it reframed it. He no longer felt like the center of a battle. He felt like someone learning to let go. Erika experienced a similar quiet turning point. She noticed it during an ordinary afternoon, when she caught herself laughing without guilt. The weight she had been carrying lifted just enough for her to breathe freely again. She realized she was no longer reacting to the past. She was living in the present. The drama that once followed her, like a shadow, began to fade into memory. She had a long conversation with her new partner that night, one that felt honest and grounded. She admitted the chaos had scared her, that she worried it might always hover over them. He responded simply, saying every relationship carries history, but not every history has to dictate the future. That reassurance mattered more than any public defense ever could. Fans slowly moved on to the next spectacle, as audiences always do. The comments thinned. The theories lost traction. What once felt explosive became old news. Emotions ran high for so long that the silence afterward felt strange, almost unsettling. But for those living it, the quiet was a relief. Charlie found peace in accepting that some questions would remain unanswered. He stopped wondering if Erika moved on too fast or if timing could have changed anything. He understood now that clarity is not always something another person can give you. Sometimes it comes from choosing not to ask anymore. Erika accepted that she would always be a villain in some versions of the story. She stopped trying to correct those versions. Instead, she focused on building a life that felt true to her, one not shaped by reactions or expectations. The strength she gained surprised even her. Charlie's parents adjusted to. They learned that protecting their son did not mean fighting his battles for him. It meant trusting his resilience. That lesson was not easy, but it brought them closer to him in a quieter, more respectful way. In the end, nothing dramatic closed the chapter. There was no final confrontation, no public reconciliation, no statement that satisfied everyone. The story ended the way many real ones do, through distance, growth, and acceptance. The family was left divided in subtle ways, but also wiser. Charlie stepped into his next chapter with more self-awareness than he ever expected. Erika moved forward with calm determination, and the drama that once consumed them all became just another chapter they no longer needed to revisit. What remained was not bitterness, but understanding, not resolution, but peace. And for everyone involved, that turned out to be enough. Now the noise has faded, but the questions still linger, and that is where this story leaves you. Was Erika wrong for moving on so quickly, or was she simply choosing herself after a chapter had already ended in her heart? Were Charlie's parents protecting their son, or did their anger push the situation further than it ever needed to go? And most importantly, could any of this have ended differently if emotions had not taken over at every turn? Fans are shocked not just by what happened, but by how human it all feels. Love, pride, timing, and public judgment collided, leaving everyone changed in ways they never expected. The family was left divided, not by hatred, but by pain that surfaced too fast and healed too slowly. Charlie learned that silence can sometimes be stronger than defense. Erika learned that moving forward often means accepting that not everyone will understand your choices. And the people watching were reminded that real life does not come with clean endings. Now it is your turn to weigh in. Do you think Erika owed Charlie and his family more time and respect? Or do you believe she had every right to live her life on her own terms? Should Charlie's parents have stayed out of it? Or were they justified in speaking up? And what do you think about the new boyfriend stepping into such a storm? Was he a distraction? Or a safe place Erika needed? If this story made you think, react, or even change your perspective, make sure you show it. Like this video if you felt the emotions behind the drama. Subscribe if you want more stories that pull back the curtain on shocking twists and complicated relationships. And most of all, drop your thoughts in the comments below, because your opinion is part of this conversation. This drama may have gone quiet for now, but the debate is far from over, and we want to hear exactly where you stand.